Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcome back to the Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. Hydration with purpose, passion, and a ton of personality. Now, when we think of metal music, we don't often think of mindfulness, movement, or mentorship. But today's guest is rewriting that narrative with unapologetic boldness. In an industry where women are often underrepresented and underestimated, she's carved out space with her sheer vocal power, emotional intelligence, and creative agility. According to a 2023 report from Luminate, women made up less than 10% of headlining acts in heavy metal festivals globally. But today's guest is here to remind us that glass ceilings don't exist when you come in swinging with a mic in one hand and your truth in the other. Joining us is the electrifying Heidi Shepherd, frontwoman of the genre-defying metal band Butcher Babies. She's born in Provo, Utah. She's transformed her early dreams of Olympic gold into a globe-trotting career as a vocalist, actress, broadcaster, and unapologetic trailblazer. She's graced the stages of major music festivals, starred in TV and film, and redefined what it means to be both fierce and feminine in the world of rock. She's also an advocate for holistic wellness and a proud ambassador for Once Upon a Coconut, proving that even the loudest voices have room for stillness, sustainability, and soul. Today, we're chatting from Mormon misfit to metal queen, how she became the genre-busting powerhouse rock wasn't ready for, but most desperately needed. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
So let's rewind for a second. You were a junior Olympian, a competitive cheerleader, and a college athlete before you ever picked up a mic. So that's a lot of accolades there. What kind of discipline, drive, and stage presence did it take? I mean, that doesn't just disappear. It evolves, right? And in fact, many experts now say that athletic training can foster the type of mental toughness needed for creative leadership. So how did your background in sports and even broadcasting shape the way you perform and lead today, especially in a genre as physically and emotionally demanding as metal?
I think that growing up in sports created a work ethic at a young age that I needed to succeed in anything in life. And I think that proves in the many ventures that I've been so lucky to be a part of throughout the years. And I, especially here in metal, it is an incredible athletic event. Run back and forth, jump around, scream and sing and all these things without missing a beat. It is an athletic event. And doing it night after night, I have to be in the best shape possible to do so. I have to make sure that I'm healthy on the road. These are all things that I had to do as an athlete growing up as well.
Well, what you're describing is elite level stamina, but also emotional precision, right? It's that rare mix of discipline and disruption that allows you to command both a crowd and a band. And it's really a refreshing reminder that performance isn't just talent, it's training.
Yes.
And I believe that. Now, Butcher Babies was born from rebellion and raw energy, and yet what you've built is full on business savvy, in my opinion. You've gone from club gigs to international tours with acts like Marilyn Manson and Megadeth. And when you look at the stats, according to Billboard Pro, only 3% of music industry executives in metal are women, and even fewer front their own business entity. So what are some of the biggest lessons in learning how to be both an artist and entrepreneur? And what would you say to other women trying to own all sides of their creativity?
It's a really great question. I think that as an artist, a lot of times we can be pulled into decision making with our hearts, and which is 100% okay. You need that side of you. You need that human side of you. But of course, first things first, this is the music industry. It's a business. And realizing that this business has to be run in that regard is kind of letting your brain also guide your heart. And that's something that over the last 16 years in this band has been an interesting toggle. I've gone back and forth between, certain decisions that I've had to make where, it hurts my heart, but I know that for the better of the business, things have to move in a certain direction, or decisions have to be made in a certain way that benefit the business in order for long-term success and longevity. So this is, it's definitely been a learning curve. I think that, mistakes create success, and I think failures create success. And so I look back at my failures as learning experiences, and I'm grateful for those as well, because it's helped us learn how to navigate the music industry as a business.
Now let's talk about voice, because your voice, both literally and figuratively, is unmistakable. I mean, you've got this scream that could tear down a stadium, and this presence that feels shockingly grounded. And when you look at Berklee College of Music, they've done research on this, and they show that vocalists often struggle with longevity because they don't prioritize recovery or wellness. So how do you care for your voice and your mental health while performing at such an intense level? And how has your relationship with wellness evolved over the years?
Well, I used to party hard. When we first started this band, I was in my early 20s, and I was like, this is the rock star lifestyle. A bottle of Jaeger here every single night. But now, as it's evolved, and I've realized that the recovery for my vocals is the most important thing. I sleep. I sleep and I do not party. On the road, it is water, coconut water, and lots of sleep. Sometimes you'll find me sleeping into mid-afternoon just to make sure that my voice can handle all the transitions throughout the show that evening. I truly believe that the recovery of the vocal cords is the most important thing that a vocalist can do, rather than, even getting on stage and giving it your all. If your vocal cords are not well rested, it could be an opportunity lost. So
Yeah.
to me, it's sleeping, and that recovery has helped a lot. I also take magnesium, which helps with recovery. I take that at night to help me with sleep and recovery, and just to help rebuild that muscle that I may have torn in the back, screaming and singing, at an intense level for a long amount of time.
Now, as an ambassador for Once Upon a Coconut, and it's so on brand for you.
Yes.
It's purpose driven, mission aligned, and unexpected, right? So, what drew you to Once Upon a Coconut? How does it tie into your personal mission, especially as someone who's constantly challenging what rock star living looks like?
Yes. Well, I mean, Once Upon a Coconut, I've been a fan of the company before I even got involved. I love the different flavors. I love the taste. I love the people that run the business as well.
Yes.
And what they represent. And I truly believe that Once Upon a Coconut isn't just for hydration and delicious coconut water. It's also a giving back to the people. And, 10% of every box sold goes to different charities. And me getting involved with Once Upon a Coconut, I think that it has been something that I want to bring a lot of attention to, as you said, self-care and mental health. And I believe that, putting the alcohol bottle down at night for me on tour and picking up a can of coconut water has helped shift my mindset into a healthier living as well.
Yeah.
Not just my body, but my mind. I can think clearer. I everything that I do with better purpose. And, going from where the lifestyle used to be sex, drugs, and rock and roll, now it's workout routines, protein shakes, coconut water, heavy metal. and that has become really the lifestyle.
It's not just about selling a product, it's about telling a story. And what you're doing is helping redefine what rock culture can look like. Then, to your point, one that's hydrated, one that's heart led, and wholly authentic, not just the days of drug, sex, and rock and roll, right? Now, you've been in front of cameras for years, acting, modeling, hosting, but somehow you've always kept your sense of identity intact. And in time, where so much is filtered and curated, authenticity is actually becoming a form of resistance. So how have you stayed rooted in your truth through all the noise of the industry? And what keeps you grounded when the spotlight gets too bright?
I grew up in the film industry. My dad works in the film industry, and he has since I was as a kid. And I remember growing up and him working with some of the biggest celebrities. He did music videos for Backstreet Boys, music videos for all these, huge bands. And I remember being like, oh my goodness, Dad, like, wow, you're working with the celebrities. And one thing he told me very early on is like, Heidi, everyone poops in the morning. That has been something to me that has been it followed me throughout my entire life. We're all normal people, and all of us are just doing what we can to get through life. And I wake up every day incredibly grateful to be here for one, and for two, grateful for the life that I have. It could be ripped away at any moment. And I think that if people in my position maintain that mentality, that this is all could be just a pipe dream come and go. If we don't treat our bodies right and treat ourselves right, it could come and go. I stand on stage every night with full gratitude to be there. These people, they pay their hard-earned money to come and stand there and, rock out with us and watch us perform our passion, and seeing them get involved and seeing their faces light up and seeing this vessel of energy going back and forth, seeing them sing these lyrics back with us. It's an indescribable feeling that really makes me feel incredibly grateful that they're there, that I'm there.
And that's a necessary reminder, right? That vulnerability isn't weakness, it's legacy work. And you've turned being real into a radical act. And it's what makes your voice resonate so far beyond the music. So congratulations for all of this. Now, your brand is beloved, your voice is iconic, your story is just getting started, but your legacy clearly goes beyond the music. According to Rolling Stone culture piece that I just read, fans are now looking to artists for deeper connections and leadership. So you have that community that follows you. How do you hope people remember most about your work and your voice? And what's the impact you hope to leave behind, both in metal and in life?
Well, I hope that people can look back at what I do or look at it now and say that I was a nice person. I truly believe that as I started learning that I was becoming a role model back in the day, like right when we first started, I saw this happening, and I started living my life in a more positive way. And so I truly think that this is something that um, saved me as much as it can anybody else. I think that it is an important thing for me to look at what I can influence with other people and take responsibility for the things that I do influence. I get up on stage, and I get to sing one of our songs. It's called Last December, and um it, it's about a moment in time that was incredibly difficult for me, where I nearly took my own life. And I tell that story on stage, and it's the most vulnerable thing that I've ever done. And the more and more that I've been able to play this song over around the world, it's a ballad, and we're a heavy metal band, and we're still on some of the heaviest tours. And the second I start talking about this and making it less taboo in my eyes on stage, I can see in the crowd people's faces are, oh, I can relate. Oh, I can relate. Oh, I can relate. And then when I speak to people afterwards, oh, I can relate. I think that my message pushing things like that, and inspiring people to understand that they're not alone in certain aspects of their lives or certain feelings they may have, and understanding that people in my position go through the exact same things and emotions that they go through. I think that has become very important for an artist or somebody in any type of spotlight to show, is that people aren't alone. I'm just like you.
I'm getting goosebumps because that's the difference between being an entertainer and a transformer. Now, my last question is, how has being Mormon shaped your trajectory?
Well, I grew up Mormon, but I haven't lived in that lifestyle for 20 something years now. So, 22, 3 years. But I grew up with a lot of morals, I guess you can say. The Mormon religion, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't even drink caffeine. But I think what really it was for me, and my heart is open to everything now, but really I think what it is for me is that I recognize other people having their values, and that's a beautiful thing. I think anybody's values, people can, live in any type of world that they want to, and we can all respect each other and still live harmoniously together. And even though it's not a part of my life now, I still completely respect the people whose life it is a part of. And
Absolutely.
yeah, that in any religion, to be fair, or demographic, or any type of person, equality all around for everything is something I truly believe in. And so I really think that maybe growing up in that religion helped me.
I was going to say that. I was going to say the same thing. Well, we are officially out of time. This has turned into a 30-minute segment, and we're going to have a lot of editing to do. But I absolutely loved chatting with you. I want to thank you for gracing us with your fire, with your truth, with your fearless voice. I mean, you've redefined what it means to be a woman in metal and a woman in wellness, and whether it's on stage or on set or in a sip of coconut water.
Yes.
Your story inspires hydration in its most radical form. I'm talking about hydration of the soul.
Yeah.
And it's so fitting because this Hydration with Heart segment is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, and we are here to hydrate more than just your body, one mission at a time, and you are the perfect ambassador. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it.
Guys, definitely head to Heidi Shepherd's website. You can go to butcherbabies.com. Check her out on the gram. She's extremely active at Heidi the Butcher. And you can also check out her band on the gram at Butcher Babies. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. That was the Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut.
Discover the refreshing taste of 100% pure coconut water that actually tastes great. Naturally sweet with no artificial flavors or added sugar. It's packed with electrolytes to keep you hydrated throughout your day. And with 10% of profits going to charity, every sip makes a difference. Pure taste, pure goodness. Experience nature's Gatorade. Visit Once Upon a Coconut or naturesgatorade.com.